Week 9 in college football here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak, and we're talking right now with Troy West from GameDayInsiders.com. And Troy, you asked me to assign you the games, and so I said I'll assign you one marquee game. So I assigned you, I guess, the most marquee game of the card, although maybe Notre Dame, Oklahoma is a bigger game. But Florida, Georgia. Georgia's a 6.5-point home underdog, or 7. You can get 7 some places. Obviously, that's key for line shopping there. Total is 49. I've had a great read on these, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina games in recent weeks. But this spread, I'm staying off of. The only lean I do have is to the under 49. I think they might be in a defensive battle here and, play it safe and try to. So I guess I would lean Georgia plus the points and much more strongly or much less weakly to the under 49. What's your take on these lines?
I do agree with you on that under. I don't know what it is. I was looking at Florida today. These guys have done everything to be number 2. I mean, they beat LSU. They hammer South Carolina. They've won on the road. They've won at Tennessee. There's nothing not to like about Florida here, but at the same time, I'm looking at Georgia. Georgia's a good football team. They did lay an egg at South Carolina, but they've done some good things. They put up some points. I like Georgia getting points here. I really do. I think this is going to be a dogfight all the way through. It may be a low-scoring game, but I'm thinking this game is going to be decided by 3, 4, 5 points. I don't see Florida continuing their trend. They're coming off a big win at home against South Carolina. Georgia's coming off a look-pass game where they beat Kentucky at Kentucky by 5 points. I think Georgia comes up and plays hard. I think the preparation this week is going to be big, but I think this could be a good ball game. I see a 24-21 type game decided either way. I think don't be surprised if Georgia knocks off Florida this week.
Yeah.
I'm not completely sold on. Really not. I know they have big wins. I know they're a good football team. It's obvious, but a lot of their big wins are coming at home. This is actually going to be played at a neutral site in Jacksonville. It's going to be a good football game. I don't think this game's decided by 7 points. I really don't.
I'll tell you what makes me nervous here is that I bet Vanderbilt pretty heavily in their game against Florida. Vanderbilt, of course, jumped out to a 7-point lead. I thought it was a good bet, but Florida really showed that gritty, late kick that a lot of great teams really have, where they just wear down teams. They came back, they got the win, and they got the cover. And I could see the same thing happening here. Georgia, leading by a little bit, into the third quarter, and then just late Florida pulls away, gets the win and the cover.
I could see that too. No, I mean Florida's doing some interesting. I mean, I'm watching them against South Carolina. To be honest with you, South Carolina outplayed them in a lot of ways. I mean, you looked at the yards in that game; it was not a 44-11 game. The turnover battle was just huge in that. It took a huge part in that game. I think Georgia's ready for this game. I really think that. I think they may have looked past Kentucky a little bit, kind of snuck out a win. I think they were looking ahead to this game a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a dogfight, Pete. I really think. I think Georgia. Like I said, Georgia may win this ball game. Don't be surprised.
Yeah. Well, I'm not betting the side, but strongly leaning towards the under. What do you think about that?
I like the SEC defenses always seem to blow me away. Every once in a while they're coming out and you see that 12-10 game as we talked about earlier in that Auburn game. But in the same boat, it's tough. Both these teams can score. Georgia's put up some points this year, but I like that. I like the under. I'm with you on the under just because Florida's defense looked phenomenal last week against South Carolina. A lot of turnovers. And Georgia's defense can play too, but then again, they scare me a little bit with how bad they played at South Carolina. I think they gave up almost 40 points in that one. So, either one of these offense can strike in the 30s or 40s, but if I had to lean one way, I would go under with these two powerhouse defenses as well.
Great. So I think we have a consensus here, very slight lean towards the under. We both agree. Thanks, Troy.
You bet.